Breaking news, everybody. This is very serious news out of Bank of America. This will affect all of us. The stock market next year, it'll be going down. So sell. Wait, hold on. More breaking news. This time from Goldman Sachs. The S&P will be going up next year. So hooray. But how can both be true? And who to listen to? I'm Skylar James. Welcome back to the channel. Which investor will have the better outcome? The one who listens to B of A and takes defensive action? Or the one who listens to Goldman and positions themselves long? What does the history of their predictions tell us? Let's not stop with just those two banks. There are dozens of banks, money managers, economists, and investment firms making S&P 500 predictions every single year. What are we supposed to do with all of these predictions, these guesses, this information? Let's answer that second part first. What should we do with these predictions? Personally, I go out of my way to hear what the banks have to say. I believe that one of the keys to successful investing is listening and reading and educating yourself. I always want to know if market predictions are trending lower or higher or flat. That's part one of what I want to hear. So what to do with that prediction? Well, that's part two. Part two is that these folks don't have the best track record when it comes to their guesses. Predictions. Let's start with Bank of America, the bank who just said we're in the midst of the most unusual of cycles, that inflation and interest rate hikes will shock the market and that the market will drop in 2022. We're journeying back in time right now, back to the end of 2020, when Bank of America predicted that the S&P 500 would be sitting pretty at 3,800 on the last trading day of 2021. The reality, while we still have a month to go, the S&P is hovering just below 4,700 as I record this. 4,700 versus 3,800. Let's call their 2021 prediction a miss. How about the year prior? Their prediction for the end of 2020 was an S&P 500 sitting at 3,300. The reality? The S&P ended the year at 3,756. That was a miss on B of A's part of nearly 14%. Of course, none of us could have predicted what kind of year 2020 would go on to become. If you want to feel nostalgic, B of A's 2020 prediction is several pages in length, does not include the word virus, and the only references to China are around tariffs. The good old days. So B of A missed in 2020, missed in 2021, but is still making dire predictions for 2022. Oh, and since you're smart, you probably already guessed B of A missed in 2018 and 2019 too. Remember that old saying, the best economists have predicted 9 of the last 5 recessions? Bank of America has some of the best economists around. But B of A isn't the only bad actor in this movie. The whole cast is a mess. This chart here shows that collectively, market watchers are reliably wrong in their ability to guess. Predict the market's coming performance. If this were a game of darts, I would not be standing next to the dartboard while these analysts are throwing. They're wild and unreliable. Only in 2017 did they come so close to nailing the actual realized EPS of the S&P 500. Remember what goes into these estimates? It isn't simply pulling a number from a hat. This isn't like drawing numbers in a bingo game. Instead, they call this bottom-up estimating. Analysts take a look at their earnings per share forecast for the markets, arrive at a number, and then guess or predict what price to earnings multiple the markets will assign that year. But without getting into that too much, remember that we opened this video by saying that Goldman Sachs sees the market rising in 2022. In fact, they see 5,100 on the S&P 500 waiting for us at the end of 2022. Sweet. I like predictions that end up with me making more money. They aren't alone in their prediction either of a rising market. JP Morgan sees the S&P breaking 5,000. Wells Fargo is calling for an even higher than that. But what about their previous predictions? Have they been as off the mark as Bank of America? This chart here is a wrap-up from the end of 2019, one that holds analysts accountable to their earlier predictions. Notice that nobody nailed it, and the only eternal bull, Tom Lee of Fundstrat, overshot his estimate. B of A ended up as one of the biggest underperformers. Worth keeping that fact handy if you care about their 2022 prediction. The year prior in 2018, the S&P 500 finished at 2506. Compare that finish to this list of 2018 predictions. All of our friends, B of A, Goldman, JP Morgan, they all got it wrong. What's the big takeaway? The big takeaway is that these banks don't get this stuff right. They do, however, generate headlines that rattle us into action, this time every year. We can't even trust that they'll get the general direction of the market up or down correct, let alone these specific year-end targets. You and I are probably just as capable of guessing our way into prediction glory as these big wigs on TV. So stick to your convictions, keep an open mind, and never stop educating yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.